Barcelona beat PSG 3-2 in Paris, and what a historic game for Barcelona. That performance, first off, thank you, Rafinha, because to show up in that big of a moment, that is incredible. And I just can't believe it, but at the same time, I can, because I think Barcelona, they deserve that victory, and they played so well, and they should be so proud of that performance away from home in the Champions League quarterfinals. Just incredible. And that game overall was just so excited. I think we're going to be talking about that game for years to come. It doesn't even matter the second result, but just for Barcelona, with the way that the season has gone, to go away from home and beat such an informed PSG team in Paris, that's just incredible. Hats off to the entire team for all the injuries, all the problems that they've had this season. That's just incredible to come together and put out a performance and get a result like that. Just so proud of the team, honestly. Barcelona in the first half, I don't think they completely dominated the game. I don't think they completely controlled it, but they looked comfortable. And I just want to talk about that first goal. Kubarsi with such a great line-breaking pass, and then Lewandowski, who, by the way, I've slandered this entire season, I'll be honest. That's his best performance ever in a Barcelona jersey, in my opinion. Just to step up in this big of a game, in this big of a moment, and drop a performance like that, just his all-around play was incredible. He was winning every single ball. Just so amazing to see. But where was I? Kubarsi, line-breaking pass, then Lewandowski, just such a good turn, swivels it to Lamine Yamal with the Trivela pass to Lewandowski, and then Rafinha to hit that with his weaker foot, put it in the corner, just incredible goal. And then to hold on to the lead, going into the second half, just so great, so great. And it really would have been a perfect performance away from home in the Champions League quarterfinals if it wasn't for that first 10 minutes of the second half, because, they just weren't awake. They weren't on the same wavelength as PSG were, because PSG, they came out firing, and they looked to score. And, there were some fortunate bounces here and there, but Dembele, he took his chance. For me, I haven't even seen the reactions on Twitter. Ter Stegen, I just feel like he could be saving that. Yeah, it's a really hard shot. It's in the roof of the net. Maybe the defenders were blocking his view, but from that angle, you have to put it in a corner. That's the only way that ball should be going in. But anyways, the second goal, just a little bit unfortunate. Great from Vitinha, just a great pass from Fabian Ruiz. That one, I guess, hats off. But Barcelona, they just weren't awake. But after that second goal, to see that goal get scored on, and then, you're down 2-1 away from home, to bring it back 3-2 in this moment of the season, just incredible from Barcelona. I'm just so happy with that. And the old Barcelona that we've seen in the Champions League for the past, I would say, 5-7 seasons, they would not have came back in that game. There's no chance they would have had the mentality, because every single player on that team, their heads would have dropped. But you have leaders on the field. You have Ronald Araujo. You have Kubarsi at 17 years old. You have Gundogan. Pedri coming in. And also Xavi with the substitutes. He got them all right. And he won the game for Barcelona with the players that he brought on. Also, before I forget, Ronald Araujo, that performance, I'm sure there's going to be compilations all over Twitter. Historic performance from Ronald Araujo. And, I mean, no disrespect to Sergio Roberto and Ter Stegen in front of him for the captaincy, but that is a captain right there. He's just incredible to put the team on his back like that and make so many last-ditch tackles, to make, goal-saving tackles and blocks. Incredible performance from Araujo. I've said incredible so many times, but that's the best word to describe this performance, and I'm just so happy. For Pau Kubarsi, 17 years old, he just made his debut for Barcelona's first team in January. To come into this game and look that comfortable, yes, he had a couple passes that, maybe he could have just played it out, played it a little bit safer, but he kind of lost the ball in a bad area. But so many line-breaking passes that let Barcelona go forward. I think the second goal, it looked a little bit easy, but he did play the ball to Pedri. Pedri had enough space to turn, play the ball over to Rafinha, and a lot of the attack, I think, came from Kubarsi. He's just so class, and there's no words to describe how good he is right now. Cancelo going forward, I don't think he was great. He was pretty wasteful with all the chances that he got, but defensively, I think he kept Dembele in check for most parts of the game. His goal came from the other side of the field, and Koundé as well. Mbappe, he has much more of an influence in a lot of games, and I think Koundé had a great performance today as well. Honestly, just the entire defense together. Of course, that 10-minute slip-up in the beginning of the second half, yeah, you conceded 2 goals from there, but other than that, they were incredible. So many latch-ditch tackles, just such a great performance from the defense. And this match review is just going to be all over the place because I'm just so excited. I can't really, have a structured way to talk about it. And I want to talk about in the first half, when we saw that starting lineup, and it wasn't Christensen, who has been a starter for the last 9 games in a row, and been one of the main reasons why Barcelona's form has changed, to start Sergio Roberto, it was risky in my opinion. Maybe there were some mind games there. They thought Christensen was going to start. I thought maybe he was injured, but turns out he was healthy. I don't know what's going to happen, but, at least we got to see that Barcelona could put up a good performance against PSG without him because of that yellow card. He's not going to play in the second leg, which, same with Sergio Roberto. And for Frenkie de Jong to come back from injury and to slot into that team and control the game so well for Barcelona, I don't really think he did anything wrong in that game. And, I was maybe worried about the pace of the game being a little bit too much for him, just coming back from injury, but he showed his quality. He was great today. And then, of course, Pedri. with his first touch, with his first pass in a month, to drop a dime to Rafinha, and Rafinha did so well to finish it. That was just so nice to see. And Rafinha was incredible. He's got to be the man of the match. I haven't seen who won the man of the match. Araujo could have been it. But no, it has to be Rafinha because he took the game by himself and he scored 2 great goals for Barcelona. And just in these big moments, he's someone that can be decisive. When you need someone to show up in these big moments, man, it's always him, I feel like. And, there's been some talk about if Barcelona get offered $100 million for him in the summer, would you take it? Personally, I would always say yes, but that game just solidified my confidence in him because he's so confident in himself, and it doesn't matter the occasion. He's always looking for the ball. He's looking to take risks. He's looking to shoot, and it paid off today with a brace, and he could have easily maybe gotten a hat-trick if he stayed on, but he looked tired at the end, so it's the right decision from Xavi to take him off. But Rafinha, hats off for that performance. He was incredible, and that's, in my opinion, by far his best game in a Barcelona jersey, in the most important game he has played so far. And again, Lewandowski, I talked about it before, but that's what you expect from Lewandowski. You expect someone that can have sharp turns, that's playing the right passes, that doesn't look slow. He's active, he's not taking too long on the ball, he's winning headers, he's being a nuisance for the defense. That's exactly what he did today, and again, in my opinion, the best Barcelona performance that he's ever had for Barcelona, and definitely in the right moment. And players like Lamine Yamal and Gundogan, I think they had solid performances. You saw moments of brilliance from Lamine Yamal, but Rafinha, he was doing so well, you can't take him off. And I think it was the right decision to take Lamine Yamal off because, again, him and Gundogan, they were having solid performances. Most of the time, they'd be a little bit more influential than they were, but again, solid performances, definitely not slandering them. They were great. I think almost everyone went into this game really not knowing what was going to happen, but 3-2 to Barcelona, I don't know if anyone would have predicted it. I wouldn't have expected it for sure. I think, Barcelona at 2-1 down, and you thought all the momentum was with PSG, but for them to bounce back, and I just hats off to Pedri and Rafinha because, to be honest, that goal was out of nowhere, and that was a momentum shift because PSG, they just kind of dropped their heads a little bit, and then to see Christensen come on on his birthday and score the goal for Barcelona, that was also so nice to see. I'm really happy with how the team responded because I think, like I said earlier in the video, the past couple years, when there's a bad result, and the team is just not playing their best, they get down and they just don't look like they're really going to be able to make a comeback. But, 2-1 at Paris, like in Paris against PSG with the best player in Europe on their team. And Barcelona, they looked confident in their abilities and they got it done. They were able to come back in 3-2. You don't know what's going to happen in the second leg. It's definitely not going to be an easy game. PSG are, of course, going to come with the thought that they can come back, but Barcelona, they have to be so proud and happy with their performance today. And for me, I think that's the most important thing for Barcelona going into the Champions League for the next couple seasons because given the squad that they have, they can go and compete in this tournament. But I think a lot of it is about the belief that they have in themselves and just being able to get the job done because it's never going to be comfortable. A run to the Champions League, it's not going to be comfortable. It doesn't matter who you play, and especially in knockout stage games away from home. Barcelona, they have struggled with that in recent years, and just to see them drop this performance and get that result, I'm just so happy with them. And I think that Xavi, he's really done a great thing in the past month just to change the energy that the team has. And when Xavi announced his departure earlier this season, I didn't know what the players' reaction was going to be. I didn't know if they were going to drop their heads. I didn't know if they were going to be extra motivated. But their form in the past month, I think it's just been a complete 180. They've changed so much. And this is what you expect from a team with this much talent in the team because I think Barcelona, I really believe in them. And of course, the second leg, like I said, it's not going to be easy at all. And of course, you're not in the Camp Nou. It's a home game, but it's not exactly home. I still think Barcelona, they should be believing in themselves and they should be confident going into that game. Of course, it's not going to be easy, but you have to believe in yourselves. And for Barcelona to go into the second leg with a 1-goal lead, that's one thing. But I think Barcelona, the most important thing for me was to see that 2-1 scoreline and be able to come back because that's the start of a domino effect, I hope, because Barcelona, I think sometimes they just drop their heads in these big games and maybe they feel like they have to have a 100% perfect game and, some things go wrong in the game, the player makes a mistake and they get scored on and you just see their heads drop a little bit and you think, oh, this is going to be terrible. But I did not see that at all today. And just, again, credit to Pedri because to be out for a month with an injury, no one knew if he was even going to be playing in this game, to come on, have one touch, and then chip that ball perfectly to Rafinha. You just got to give credit where it's due. And Rafinha, that is such a difficult finish, but just incredible. And then he did Neymar celebration at PSG. That was just great to see. But overall, I just think that the team should be so happy with the way they responded, being 2-1 down away from home in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And I'll say one thing. Can we expect Mbappe to have that little of an influence in the second leg? I don't think so. I think he's going to be there to play. And so Barcelona, they're going to have to be at their best, 100%. And, with Christensen and Sergio Roberto missing, hopefully players like Frankie and Pedri, they would be 100% ready to start in the second leg. And that would be a big boost to Barcelona. But, overall, just so happy with the team. And, again, you don't know what's going to happen in the second leg. This sport is just so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. But Barcelona, they should be very happy and very confident going into the second leg because just, again, to climb back from 2-1 down and that huge momentum shift from PSG in the second half. And Barcelona, we've seen so many times where, it's a Champions League game. They're like, we're going to bottle it. It's not, but under Xavi, the energy that the team has right now, that's not the case. They actually believe in themselves, and I think a lot of that, largely, we have to credit Xavi for that. And like I said, when the starting lineup came out, I was confused. Was Christensen injured? But it seemed like it was a tactical decision, and for me, again, I'm still a little bit confused about that because I thought the point of testing Christensen as a defensive midfielder would be to play him in that role in these big games, and I think so far Christensen has done great in that position. I don't really know what happened. Maybe he wasn't 100% fit, and he just wanted to give him like 15 minutes in this game. I don't exactly know, but I was very confused about that. I don't think Roberto played bad. In these big games, I think he always does his role very well. It's nothing flashy, but he's always covering a lot of ground. I think he's doing a lot of the dirty work, so it definitely wasn't a bad performance from him. But I was very confused why Christensen wasn't starting. But everything else in the starting lineup, I think that was the right idea from Xavi, and that was what we expected. And like I said, the substitutions that Xavi brought on, that won the game for Barcelona. And I think sometimes in the past year, he's been a little bit slow to react to momentum changes in the game, but he saw the momentum change at the 60th minute right away, brought Pedri and Christensen on, and they changed the game for Barcelona. Pedri had the assist, Christensen, of course, had the goal on a corner. And that's, you have to credit Xavi there. And, he took Lamine Yamal out, who maybe wasn't having the best night or wasn't as influential. He moved Rafinha to that side because you can't take Rafinha out playing that well. Brought on Joao Felix, who, had some good touches. He slowed the game down a little bit. And overall, Fermin Lopez coming on, I think all of them were the right changes to me. And I was confident. I believed in the team going into this game, but 3-2 in Paris against a really informed PSG team. They hadn't lost a game since December of last year. I mean, just what a historic game for the sport. I think that's just incredible. And this matchup, Barcelona against PSG, it just continues to provide incredible games for the sport. And I'm so happy with the way the game went. Just not even the result, but just the performance overall. Again, to have the confidence to come back in a game like that when you're away from home in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, that's not something that we've seen from Barcelona in the past couple of seasons. So I definitely don't want to take what Xavi has done to Barcelona for granted because he's changed the momentum, he's changed the energy of the team, and since he announced his departure, Barcelona's form has completely changed for the better. But in the end, Xavi could get it completely right, and it's up to the players on the field to go make a comeback, to go produce those moments. And like I said, Rafinha, man, I just want to say thank you so much. I know you're not going to see this, but Rafinha, he was just incredible. And just to have 2 goals away from home in this big Champions League game, and I actually saw the stat that he hadn't scored in the Champions League yet, and so that was great. To see that performance and just to show that much quality and class, it was like he believed in himself, and that's what it is every time, is even though things aren't going well, he's still finding a way to influence the game, and of course he did that today. And then Pedri, hats off again for that pass for Barcelona's second goal. Gundogan, great corner. Christensen, right place, right time, great header. So overall, all the players on the field, especially, Araujo, Cubarsí, these players should be so happy and confident going into the second leg because they dropped such a good performance, and I think this team just has such a bright future ahead of it. And overall, I can't really get my thoughts straight because there's just excitement. I'm sure you all are feeling that as well. And, just incredible. I just have no words to describe what we saw because, Barcelona in the past couple years of the Champions League, it doesn't go that well, especially in the away games. And like I said, I'm not gloating at all because this job is not finished. Like, Barcelona still have a second leg to go win, and PSG, 100%, they're going to go out there to win the game. And they're such a difficult team to play against. I really think it's not going to be easy for Barcelona. They're going to have to drop an even better performance, I think, in the second leg. But with the squad that they have, with the performance that we just saw, I'm confident in the team, and I believe in every single player there. Just going through everyone on the field, Koundé, he showed so much quality today, and to go 1v1 against Mbappe, and Mbappe, he only had a couple chances in this game, really, to get the ball in good areas, and that was thanks to Koundé, and I think going forward, he was quality. Just every single pass he had was great. He showed so much maturity in that game. It seemed like he had been there before. And then Araujo, the latch-ditch tackles, just the incredible defending 1v1. It saved the game for Barcelona because one of those shots easily could have been going in, but Araujo, he didn't give them that chance. And Cubarsí, again, not just the defending, not just the tackles against 1v1 players from PSG, but also the line breaking passes, the ability to build up from the back and just give Barcelona that head start and find the right pass so a player can turn and then have space. It's just every single pass he's making, it's just he's a couple steps ahead of everyone else. He's just so incredible at that age. And Cancelo, defensively, he was good today. So defense overall, they were great. Those 2 goals that they scored, I really can't blame anyone on the defense. I think maybe it was just the momentum that PSG had, that pep talk that they had in the second half. I think they just came out on a different level than Barcelona were. And, most of the times, yeah, that can't happen because you're going to be punished. But I really don't think, sometimes it's just the luck of the bounce. The Dembele shot, I haven't seen the reaction on Twitter. Ter Stegen, I feel like, should be saving that. Again, it was a hard shot right at the roof of the net. Not a goalkeeper. Of course, I'm conceding that. But Ter Stegen, I feel like a lot of quality goalkeepers, they would maybe be doing better there. And then Barcola also had a shot at Ter Stegen. And, Ter Stegen did touch it. It hit the crossbar, but not safe enough for me. Overall, I don't think there's anyone really to blame for those 2 goals. It's just a momentum shift, and luckily Barcelona, they were able to bounce back after that slow first 10 minutes of the second half. And then moving into the midfield, Gundogan and Sergio Roberto, I think they did their job very well. They had good touches. They didn't make that many mistakes, and I think that was their role in this game. Frenkie de Jong, I did notice him a little bit more, but I feel like that's the case usually because he's just making, these turns. He has more time on the ball. So I'm definitely not trying to slander Roberto and Gundogan. I think the midfield overall, they did pretty well today, and it's against PSG without Pedri and Gavi. Those are 2 of your best midfielders. So, I think the midfield overall was great. And then, of course, when Pedri came on, just so much quality. And, man, I feel like I'm doing a lot of stuff in my hands, so I apologize with that. But, yeah, Pedri just to come on and have that much confidence to play that pass after a month out, that's just incredible. And I think the whole midfield, I think they did pretty well today. And then the attack, again, I just want to give so much credit to Lewandowski because I think he's had a really tough, past year and a half at Barcelona. I just don't think things have been going exactly his way. I think some people maybe question his fit in this style of play. But he shows his quality there, and that's exactly what we expect from Lewandowski, and that's what we know we can get. So I think that's why I was so harsh, earlier this season, because we weren't seeing anything close to that. And it's not like Barcelona's system really switched that much. Yes, they are playing with 3 attackers, so maybe that could be a little bit of an influence. But I just think Lewandowski, that's what we expect. That's what we want to see, and he deserves so much credit for his performance because, again, that was his best performance ever in a Barcelona jersey, in my opinion. And just given the stage of the game, deserves so much credit. And then again, Rafinha, there's always questions about, does he have the quality to play for Barcelona? I really like him as a player and as a person because he's just so hardworking. He's always confident in himself, and he's always giving 100% to Barcelona. But to put the team on your back against PSG at Paris, incredible. Seriously, it's such a good performance from him, and he deserves so much credit because that game, it could have been completely different if his amount of decisiveness wasn't on the field today, and had a brace and just deserves so much praise for his performance. Just incredible. And overall, I just obviously have so many positive things to say about the team in general and the cohesion that they shared today. And also, Xavi, I think he did great. He set the team up very well in the substitutes, came on and changed the game, but also all the individuals on the field because in the end, those were the players that, they didn't drop their heads at 2-1 down. They found a way, they fought back, and to get a 3-2 win away from home, that's just a historic performance from Barcelona. And again, it's not secure. The second leg is going to be even more difficult for Barcelona, but you have to be so happy with that performance and that result. In the end, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you all had a great time watching this game. I'm sure it was very nervous. I was really excited the entire game, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing, but it was just so happy. I'm so happy that Barcelona played that well and they dropped that good of a performance, and overall, I think everyone should be super happy and proud of the team because that was such a great result from them and such a great performance, and it was so nice to see. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. I'm so glad that we all got to watch that and just experience that together, and thank you all for watching my video again. And Visca Barca, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace. Thank you.